Bienvenidos chiquillos de Rock a la Vena, esta es una nueva entrevista y esta vez estamos con un, visionario legendario del death metal técnico a nivel mundial, de la banda Pestilence, Mr. Patrick Mameli. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, man. And thank you for the nice introduction. I don't hear that every day. Yeah, it's like sometimes it feels weird when people talk about you are being legendary and stuff like that. Yeah, we were there from the beginning, but I always have to wonder how come we are not that successful than the other bands that are very successful at this moment. I only can blame myself. I guess I only can blame myself for being out of the scene for 20 years. Because the bands that have been going on still, like an Obituary or a Deicide or Cannibal Corpse, they are still pretty big. Whereas nothing else has changed that much, I think. The only band that I can think of is Pestilence, who is constantly progressing and trying to make better music every time, that we record something. And I think that it's kind of tragic, is that I feel that it almost looks like most of the bands that are very popular now and still very, popular, they seem to be out of ideas and always make a copy of their own music, where Pestilence always continues being, better musicians, better compositions, trying to be better than the rest, I guess. But where's the success? So that's kind of weird.
That's actually a good point of view, because that happened in a lot of bands that they have a lot of years talking, a huge experience. But I don't know, maybe it's the same thing with Beyond Creation, for example, right? Beyond Creation is a nice band, very similar, technical death metal and everything, but still it's not. They lack of success. Maybe I don't know if because the younger generation, I don't know, or maybe not all the metalheads digest that kind of death metal. I don't know. That thing that you said about Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Obituary is actually true. Some of them are still doing the same music. That's pretty cool. But the new record, they are not success records, right? Nobody even remember the name of the new record, for example. That's pretty common. And they still, like you say, doing like some kind of copy of the old record, but translated to a new sound maybe, or new way of recording. And that's actually true. But for me, if you ask me about Pestilence, I have to say, no. I mean, you have a success back because the name is still okay. It's still living. You are keep playing. You're a guy with no any addiction. I mean, you have a good health, thank God. A good shape. Right now, you are doing the Portals, the new album. You just re-released the last year a new way of recording all songs. So you're still working on Pestilence. You're still doing tours. You still have a lot of people like my friend here, and nice fans. So I don't know. I'm kind of disagree. You success a lot, sir. Today is quite different. The new ways of doing music, publicity, the new music. Everything right now is social media. This kind of interaction. So just keep doing what you're doing, because I believe you are success enough, sir. And believe me when I say this, okay? Patrick Mameli in Pestilence is still living. So, you know what? Fuck everything. You're still doing your job, sir.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously true. It's my passion, and nobody can ever say that I'm not very, always very standful in what I think and what I do with my music. I think I'm one of the few guys that, like Chuck back in the past, he created his own style and people remember him for the style. A lot of bands that have a style, they keep continuing that style. But I think that for me, it is very important to, and I think that Chuck would have done it as well, would have progressed. And progression, I think, it's the only way to become or a better musician, or
Yes.
a better person, or a better sports person. Anything that you can do to absorb and come up with new ideas, and not just follow the generic path of how I see it. Still is happening right now when we started doing this music. Is that the good part about it is the scene is very the scene is very traditional, meaning they keep, they're one of the few fans that still want to have an LP or still want to have the CD, whereas most music lovers in any other genre, they get everything from streaming platforms and stuff like that, where a band doesn't even make any money at all whatsoever. But it is very difficult and it's very hard to keep keep competing, because that's how I am as a person. I always compete in sports. I always want to be the best person I can be, and also in music. If I feel that the music sounds like another band or a song sounds like something else, which is pretty difficult because I don't listen to metal at all.
No.
Just for this reason, I'm a musician. I'm like a sponge, and subconsciously, I'm afraid that I will take an idea and make it my own, and then the whole originality of Pestilence is gone. So I have kept away from the music scene in that regards, that I don't listen to music in general. So I don't listen to any music.
No,
For
any
me, it
new
is
music? No old music?
nothing. No. I mean,
Okay.
I do like to listen to, but this is at maybe now because I'm older. I don't need that anymore, just
Okay.
to go into a different state of mind or reality. I mean, I used to love listening to Alan Holdsworth and listening to jazz. Now, when you hear Portals, when it comes out, you will hear my solos will sound like Alan Holdsworth. So this is the problem that I have, is that once I dissect a person's personality, I think I could be a good actor as well, or a good writer. It's just like one of those creative things that I have, is that I take a lot of things and take it as a sponge, and I want to make it my own. So with Pestilence, I'd rather not listen to metal at all, and frankly, there are not a lot of bands that can impress me nowadays anymore. Anyways,
Okay.
there is so much cheating involved,
Oh, yeah.
that it makes me just disgusted by the whole fact that people think that they are actually doing what they're doing on YouTube. For example, drummers that can drum faster than the speed of light. I remember when I saw Derek Roddy playing live with Hate Eternal, doing King of All Kings, and he's doing the single foot blast, the traditional real single foot blast.
The real
And
one.
now, yeah, and now all these drummers, they rely on triggers, and
Triggers,
they
yeah.
say double stroke, but I hear and I see 1 foot and I hear 2 times, so they double it with 1 stroke. And I think that if you start to believe in cheating with music or with anything, and you start believing how good you are, I think that then the world is lost. And I think that traditionally we love to record mostly in the old-fashioned way. And yeah, that makes it feel more, and that's what we did on Levels of Perception. People really disliked the sound, but we wanted to go back to the old days. Remember the old days when you had a tape trading generation?
Straight, yes.
Yeah, you have tapes and it sounded like shit, but it had something so nice to it. And now everything is 96 kilohertz and even up. And people are talking about all these things and you can't even hear it. So, so we like a more traditional approach to this. And for me also, a band is as good as the drummer is. So if you have a shitty drummer, you can forget your band.
Shitty band. Yeah,
you have a shitty band.
That's a nice slogan. If you have a shitty drummer, you have a shitty band. That's actually pretty true. You know, talking about the levels of perception that I know. I was doing some research before the interview, of course, and I realized the level of perception. A lot of people didn't like it because about the sound, but a lot of people like it because how they sound. You know, I have an interview with the drummer of Volbeat. In this new record of Volbeat, they released it this year, a few months ago. They say they wanted to recording the most analog way possible. You know, nothing digital. Maybe the mixtures. You know, I don't know. But they recording everything in the old ways. A lot of bands
on tape.
They're trying to do that. Yes.
Yes.
So
and some people have even lost the technology and the way to do it. Like they say, oh, we don't know how to go to the moon anymore because we lost all the technology. It's like, how do you record with tape? I remember back in the old days when you had to cut in a part and replay it. They had to put the tape right and everything. And now it's just like, okay, the click track will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and on one you start playing, and the computer is recording everything, and then you crossfade it, and then nobody hears the problem anymore. So there is a difference, and Volbeat, I think, is doing a good job in taking risks, because Pestilence has been always taken about risks. There's never been an album that sounds exactly the same. Actually, no Pestilence album sounds the same. And I have fans that sometimes comment and send me messages, and they say, wow, today I have been listening to Doctrine. What a great album that was. And that makes me happy. Just that one little comment makes me happy, because some people do understand and realize that what Pestilence has done is the nightmare of a record label. It's like, you never know what to expect, right? You know, so if you sign Obituary, or if you sign the Deicide, even if they have different people, it will always sound like Glenn Benton, and it will always sound with this type of music. It will always be that, right? Pestilence always comes up with crazy music, and especially for Portals, which I am very enthusiastic about. Is how much the musicianship has changed, and how much these guys have been able to translate my music and make it their own and come up with their own ideas. Because this is another thing that is a misconception about me, is that I am like this dictator in a band, telling everybody what to do and what to say. And how come this guy always has different lineup changes, right? There must be something wrong with this guy, right?
Yeah.
So, but then again, nobody asked Chuck the same question if he was still alive. Why? Because Chuck always tried to use the best musician he could find at the time to work with for his music, to make it and to a higher level. And this is always what I have done, is always try to find the people that can elevate my music. And most of these guys already had their own band. I can give you numerous reasons why the guys in the band left. Not because of I Am a Dictator, no. Because they had Psychroptic, or they had Darkane, or they had Atheist, or they had all these other bands where they were playing in. So I could not hold these guys, but at that point I could use them for Pestilence because it was the best talent that was out there at the moment. That's why I used Sean Reinert for my C187 project, which everybody hated, but the music actually is almost Pestilence. It's awesome. Somebody said something about gangster rap or whatever, and then they made this combination, and then something went wrong, and all of a sudden the whole promotion thing about that album went through the drain. Same thing is happening now with AI, right? Everybody falls over AI. Oh, Pestilence is doing AI. Deicide is doing AI. All these other bands are doing AI, but they don't talk about it. But still, it's happening. Yet every metalhead that goes to the movie and goes to a horror movie where there is lots of gore in it. How do you think they did that? With CGI, right? So I don't understand the problem with CGI. It's not doing the music for me. Everything is natural. I mean, come on, can you imagine how much Dan Seagrave painting would cost right now?
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of purists. So they always say like the cover of Dayside, the last record, that they use AI to do the cover of the album. I mean, that for me that's okay. I mean,
Who
not all the
cares?
bands can cover nice illustrator. Not all the bands like to deal with other people, so they can try to use the tool that they have. AI is almost free still. I mean, it's cheap if you can see it. You can use ChatGPT if you want to. You can create. They can give you including nice ideas, and like you say, they are not playing in the record. The
Right,
actual
they're not playing
musicians
it,
are
right? Yeah,
playing.
yeah.
You are
I
using
mean,
it for cover. I don't know. So, I mean, that for me that's okay.
imagine that's. I mean, but I feel the same about metal merchandise, about T-shirts. Some people think T-shirts are so important in their life that it's taken over their life. For me, it's just a shirt that you wear. Like some people actually make a problem. Okay, what shirt am I going to wear
Oh
that
yeah,
is not being worn by other guys, or something that is very obscure, nobody knows about and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, it's just a T-shirt. Hey, come on, man! It's just an album cover. It doesn't mean anything. What means, and it's very important, is if the band can still produce professional music that hasn't been heard before, and that's my goal. Because Portals, again, which I'm so proud of, it is something that you haven't heard before. No one has ever heard Pestilence like this before, and this has to do with the way I attract my people and let them do their thing on my music. Their interpretation of my notes is very important. Now, if they go too crazy, I tell them that, okay, just calm down a little bit, because sometimes, musicians they can get a little bit overexcited, but I can get overexcited as well. We are all human beings, right? So, but in order to to get a good product, everybody has to be the same. You can't be just like, okay, you are way up here and the rest is there and everybody has to feel the same, but you are the boss. No,
yeah,
we never work like that. Everybody in the band has the same values, and it also has to do with the way I think about life. My respect for my own body is how I want to be the guys in my band to be like as well, because I see bands perform and they are so drunk they can even perform normally anymore. But fans kind of think it's cool because it's like, that's why I made that post about Ozzy Osbourne and Lemmy, because these people have been abusing drugs and alcohol for all their life, and now everybody's mourning. But if John Doe in the street that is struggling with his life, nobody cares about because he's a John Doe, I think that person is equally as important as an Ozzy Osbourne or a Lemmy or Janis Joplin, or you name all these people, right?
yeah.
So, and this is something that I want to give the guys in my band. I want to give them with them the way I think about life, and to be a good person and to respect your own body, and make sure that because we're all getting older, but I refuse to look like some of these guys for my age, because this year I'll be 58,
Oh
right?
shit. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
you
dude.
look great to have 57 right now. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another thing. The rest of the guys in the band, they adapted my my the way I think about life, the way I
Okay.
think about everything, and they are adapting to it. Everybody's working out because they understand they all understand the issue of time. You never can get your time back. So time is very valuable. Everything you do in life, make sure it's not a waste of your time. So yeah, that's what I just want to give with pretty much everybody that I talk to. I used to be young and be dumb as well and do stupid things. Of course, everybody has gone through that phase, but it seems that even some youngsters that go to shows, they act ridiculous because they are too drunk to even watch the show because they don't know what band is playing. And I get a lot of comments because I have milk on stage, because I always drink milk on
Yes.
stage.
Yes. Yes.
I drink full milk on stage for my vocal cords. The fat in the milk,
Yes.
it coats my vocal cords, and then I can get that really nasty sound.
Okay.
So that's the way I do it. So yeah, and then people send me messages of the carton, the milk carton, and like they like enhanced it, make it bigger, and say like, hey man, why are you drinking milk, man? You should be drinking alcohol. You are metalhead, right?
You receive those kind of messages today?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
stupid.
I get it.
Supposed to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah, I get those. I got that message when Martin van Drunen didn't know I was there. We were all backstage, and of course I had my milk, and he played with Supreme Blood Court, some other band, not with Asphyx, and he was so drunk, but he did not know I was there, and he was talking shit like, "Oh man, I don't understand, man. That guy's not death metal because he's drinking milk on stage. You need to be drinking alcohol on stage." And then he didn't know I was there, so I stood behind him, and then when he turned around, he kind of looked like he saw ghosts from the past, which I am his ghost in the past. And I just told him, okay, dude, what the fuck you want, man? Because you are just this skinny little dude. I can crush you, but I don't care. But you need to keep your big mouth shut about stuff like that you have no clue about, because not too many people know that I have diabetes type 1, right?
Oh.
Which is pretty brutal. And you have to make sure that what you eat, and I can't eat sweets, all these stuff, so that's a sacrifice that I take, but now I kind of use it to become a better person, to make sure I eat well, and I eat healthy. And that's another reason why I eat healthy, is that I can't eat that junk food that people, and then drink that alcohol. I just don't do that. It's very simple. Life is simple. There are just certain choices you make, and certain choices from the heart is bad for you, and some people just do it anyways. But what I just said, you can't get that time back. Time is the most valuable thing in life. Is time.
You have a strong mentality, and that's kind of difficult to find in the music business, and you know that. And the thing that you said about Lemmy, about Ozzy, and all that kind of stuff, same with people like Motley Crue, being dying, or like you said, like doing something ridiculous on stage. The thing that you drink milk on stage is I mean, it's okay. That's actually death metal. It's like, I don't know, I was talking about with a friend about Gal from Gorgoroth. So that guy, the black metal business, have a lot of problem with him only because he's gay. So because they say that the gay community, they don't allow that kind of things, I don't know. So, and I said, well, that's stupid. I mean, everybody have their own mentality, everybody have their own personality. You just have to mind your own shit, like you say about this guy. And that's the thing about the when we start the interview. That is being a success person is not only to have money on your account or no or have, I don't know, fulfill status. It's like be alive, right? Have a night health. In 58, imagine Ozzy Osbourne if he has another life, a more healthy life. At this point, he will be, I don't know, God. But not everybody thinks like you, sir. And I appreciate that because this is a message that a lot of people here in Chile are going to see. We have that kind of problem here. You can go to any concert. Well, you've been here many times, and you see people like drunk as fuck that they want to see Pestilence, and when Pestilence is on the stage, those people are, I don't know, lying in the floor like vomiting or whatever. That's stupid. And so I'm agree with that with you. It's like I have this guy, can't remember the name, but it's the vocalist of Biohazard. He started to change his body, his mind, his mentality, and now you can see it. He has a group of people like trying to show him how he can like evolve to a better person, to a better mentality, and I fucking love that. Because right now, if you ask me personally, and as a personal opinion, I'm trying to do that kind of thing right now. I mean, I can actually drink beer, but I'm drinking water. I'm trying to drink less or whatever, trying to, trying to, like you say, if you don't have health, you cannot play. If you don't have health, you cannot do interviews or whatever thing you like. So I love that kind of mentality. And talking about portals, that you say that people never see that Pestilence live, you're gonna be on tour with 1349 in Cancer, right? And you're gonna be here September 9 at the Teatro Cariola. We're gonna see that part of Portals live. I mean, talking about
Yeah,
the
we are.
70s.
Because we are planning to play at least 3 or 4 songs of that album.
Okay.
As long as we are capable of doing it, because we haven't been practicing a lot. And for example, we have to do Alcatraz next week, which is a huge festival.
Yes.
And the fun part is what they always want. They always want to hear the old Pestilence songs. They always want to hear from Testimony and Consuming.
Yes.
That's the stigma that we have, is that whenever we try to do something new, people are going to be asking about the old music. So I hope this time that Portals is going to be such an eye opener and a game changer, which it is. Because when I'm so enthusiastic about my own music, it has to be good, because I am my worst critic. If I don't like something, I'll throw it away like it is nothing. So now I have, and the good musicianship, the guys are amazing. The songs are just incredible, and it is something new. It is Pestilence with a new twist, and this is always, like I said, the nightmare of a record label. Oh man, what are you gonna do this time, man? What can we expect? Testimony Part 2? Because I remember that when we quit, when we did Spheres, we only did that album to get out of the contract, because we knew this album cannot be sold, and we were so much ahead of time that Road Racer dropped us, because I was very fed up. Yeah, this is a true story. We were so fed up with being flooded with death metal bands by the market, by Road Racer, that we didn't get the attention that we deserved anymore. And then all these other bands that they contracted, they get more attention than Pestilence, and we were not making any money. So I don't know how some people think that playing in a metal band or playing a band like Pestilence, that we are generating so much money that we can live of it. Most of the guys in the bands have or a regular job, or are guitar teacher, bass teacher, just music teachers, right? Yeah, so I am the only one that can actually live from the music, and the rest of the guys are still working. Now, the next problem that comes up for my booking agent and my label is that I'm going to move to Thailand, right? This is This is not a big surprise if you have followed me a little bit.
Yeah, but Thailand. Why Thailand?
Why Thailand? Okay, Thailand is the land of smiles, right? Thailand is the land of the culture that we are lacking in the Netherlands. We are almost paying 60% of tax. Yeah, one of the highest taxes in the world comes from the Netherlands, meaning every show I do, 60% goes to tax. And then I have to pay rent because it's very expensive to live in the Netherlands. Now, tax paying in Thailand is 5%. So now I can
now
say,
we can go to Thailand.
now we can go to Thailand.
Now we
and
can
I
go to
live
Thailand.
there. Yeah, so I retired there.
Okay,
And,
nice.
but not for Pestilence, because for Pestilence, I will still be on the move, and that's another reason why I still work out and look the way I look, and eat proper and be strong and do bodybuilding, is because I want to turn 100. Yeah, it is maybe funny to say that if somebody, why do you want to become 100 years old? I want to become 100 and healthy, and see what the world has to offer. Most of the people that live the lives that in a metal band, they don't even reach 70, 65, 64. You know, some people got scammed, and people hate me for it when I say it. Some people got scammed into the jab, and you know they got their they got their COVID shots and all this stuff, and now all these people are dying. I'm not one of these people. I want to be boss of my own body. And Thailand is also one of those countries where it's controlled chaos. You don't have to. It's not mandatory. Where here in the Netherlands, they were trying to make it mandatory, or you are outside of society. I don't know how it was in Chile, you know. But just to talk about Chile, you guys know that we love, and don't tell everybody else, but we love Chile the best, right? We had the best shows in Chile. We had the best responses in Chile. We just love the mentality there as well, because you guys are all awesome, and you're so dedicated, and it's unmatched. I've been everywhere in the world. We did Asia. I did love Shanghai. I did love Japan. I do love these other countries, but nothing beats Chile. That's just the truth.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's just the truth, and that's why we are so happy to come back. And yeah.
Talking about Chile, we almost running out of time. But talking about Chile, what happened the last time that you was here in Chile in the stage at the end of the concert? You remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because some of those guys that those soccer flares, when you go to a soccer match and you got these flares, and they were using the flares, and of course the owner of the club, he got mad, and he warned the crowd 3 times, but they just kept going. So he turned off the PA system. Hey, but that didn't change nothing for Pestilence, because we just used our backline and we just kept on playing, and the crowd was getting crazy. And that's just the mentality that we want, because the dedication that you guys have is just is unmatched. You know, that's why it was so awesome. And I remember my manager, he was there as well, trying to find the power box, try to put it back on the power system so we could just continue playing. But thank God that that they allow us back into Chile, because that was just an amazing time. When we look back at the videos, it's just it's too much, man. It was awesome.
The venue that you go by September 9th, that venue, Teatro Cariola, is a huge venue, very important. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be packed full. 3 awesome bands. Pestilence, 3049, Cancer. It's gonna be a lovely night, of course. And it's only one more left. We are already in August, so
yeah,
a month. So
and
see you, sir, by the way, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we can meet, so we can hire a little bit. And next time, you don't have to care about any comments about milk or whatever. This interview, I love it because I think it's the first one that somebody in the other side of the screen are actually saying something about to be like healthy, like to try to give some knowledge for everybody who wants to take it. And that's pretty important for me, and I love it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
And I'm trying to be, like to be serious here. I mean, it's the first time actually. And I think, no one talks about to try to be healthy, try to be on shape. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to eat like proper, like you say. Try to drink less or not drink, I don't know, whatever. So I appreciate that. And that's an important message to metalheads. And you know that. And that's true. Ozzy Osbourne died at 76. So you have to do the maths. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy, and my message to the people, hopefully, is being taken as something really positive, because that's what I want to give the people is that to love and respect your own body before you be able to love somebody else. Love and respect your own body, then you feel good about yourself. If you feel good about yourself, you can address that to everybody else, and then be a good father. Yeah, make sure that your kids see that your dad is not a drunk, and that you are doing all the best that you can to provide, and be good to your wife, because your wife will love you for it. It's this actually so simple. Life is actually really simple if you understand these two things, is action and reaction. If your action is bad, you will get a bad reaction back. If your action is good, most of the time you will get a good reaction back, and you never can get time back. So make sure that whenever you do an action, it is a positive action, and people can live off that positive energy and take something from it. And maybe next time they say, wow, that was a really nice guy. We had a nice conversation. It's better to say than, wow, this guy was already drunk when we did the interview. I mean, don't talk to me about black metal and stuff like that, because we already know G.G. Allen, right? Nobody can fucking top G.G. Allen, so don't talk to me about black metal and cut yourself. Fuck all that shit, and just try to be positive, have a positive message. I understand you want to look evil on stage, but do understand what image you are portraying. And also, I think that metal music is serious music. It's just not just noise. What they thought back in the days, these guys with long hair, it's just all noise that they make. No, we have bands like Gorilla. There's a lot of bands out there that make really, really good music, right?